It's Avatar: Fire and Ash. It's James Cameron. Da da da. That's the tune that they sing in it, although not as much in this one, which I love. Every time I think of Pandora, every time I think of Avatar, I get that little da 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 thing, and that's what I've been doing for the last few days.
Hello,
darling. Can you tell I'm excited to talk about Avatar: Fire and Ash?
Yes.
And I've gone into a small hyperfocus already.
Yes, I can.
I'm very excited to talk about this. I went to see it by myself at 9:30 in the morning.
The opening day.
Did I go and see it yesterday, or was it the day before? I can't remember.
It was Friday. It was the opening night.
It was the opening night. People had been to see it at 1 minute past midnight. I sadly could not go and do that, but I went at 9:30, 3 hours, 17 minutes. And then you went earlier on today.
I just skived off and, took myself out of the parental situation and, took an afternoon off to go see Avatar: Fire and Ash. So I've just listened to our review of Avatar: Way of the Water, and we had quite an in-depth discussion about technical formats, which
Did we?
I'm amazed anyone got through, to be perfectly honest.
Wow, I don't remember that at all. What did we say?
So I went to see this in Dolby.
Right.
In a Dolby theatre, which had just opened in the Metro Centre.
Mm-hmm.
You had just gone to see from what you understand, a bog standard 3D showing.
There's so much in that, from what you understand.
Well, I think the big problem is that theatres don't necessarily advertise beyond the kind of branding of 3D, Dolby,
or
IMAX.
IMAX, yeah.
But you said you didn't feel you saw it in variable HDR, the variable frame rate.
That sounds about right. Okay.
How do you feel you saw this one?
I don't know. I haven't got a clue. I know I saw it in 3D because it said 3D and I won with 3D glasses.
Because we went to see it in exactly the same cinema.
Yes.
So I suspect you have seen it in variable frame rates.
Right, that's
yes.
good, isn't it? I wouldn't know either way. All I thought of when I was watching it was, isn't this lovely? It's the first time I've ever had to put my 3D glasses over my own glasses because my eyesight has gone so significantly since I turned 40. Not 40 anymore, 45 now. And it's just gone down and down and down since my 40s. You're looking at me funny. What are you putting me off?
Just an interesting definition of lovely there.
Lovely, I know, yeah. But I was excited. I was excited, like, I'm wearing my glasses. And now I'm wearing my 3D glasses. And I wonder if there's going to be a difference. I wonder if I'm going to be able to see this time. Because it has been 3 years since is it The Way of Water? Or
close enough.
Yeah, I think you put a V in a different place there, but I don't know. Anyway, Fire and Ash, much easier this time round. I'm very excited to talk about this, Mark. I really am. So yeah, I went to see it. You went to see it. You're fresher than me because you've literally only been a couple of hours since you come out.
It's been an hour since I walked out the cinema.
And do you want to go back to the technicals? So I saw it in 3D, possibly some sort of variable rate, but not in IMAX. Did you go and see it in the same?
I was in exactly the same cinema that you were in. There was the same screen that you were in.
But you didn't see it in IMAX.
No.
Right. You saw it in so we saw it in the same screen. Right, great, good. We've both had a very, very excellent experience, I'm sure.
And you do not speak for me in that sense, hon.
Well, you weren't even going to go and see it in 3D, were you? Until I may have twisted your arm.
Yeah, I mean, I have a real annoyance with the 3D phenomenon. I still have that through listening to Mark Kermode all the time. And I just find it really off-putting, the fact that it's dark. I don't like wearing the glasses. I think the Dolby 3D that I saw on the Way of the Water, whichever one it is,
mm-hmm.
I think that really helped with it. But I wasn't going to the Metro Centre the weekend before Christmas. Our local cinema is bad enough, and that's in a retail park. The Metro Centre would have been hell on earth.
Yeah.
So that was part of the reason why I didn't.
And were you excited to go and
not in the
see
slightest?
This? Right. Okay.
No,
And were you going to be a completist because you wanted to see it before the end of the year?
Yeah. I mean, I have created a problem for myself in that I make an effort to go see every single film that is in the box office top 20 in the year, and this will be in the box office top 20 in the year. We'll come back to box office in a little bit.
Okay.
But yes, I'm obviously going to see it because it's a film that people have opinions about, and I like to have an opinion on these things. I don't like to miss out on a big film. So yeah, I mean, I was always going to go see it. I enjoyed the first Avatar when I went and saw it.
Yep.
I went and saw the second Avatar, and I'm not a fan of these. I'm not a fan of these films. I think the first one was an experience. I think the second one, a length of time had passed that I tolerated. Put that on the poster, and now we are back 3 years later. You are far stronger on these films than me, I think.
Yeah, I am. I love them as an experience. I can talk at length about the problems with them. I'm very happy to do that, but my instinctive reaction to, an Avatar film coming out before I've even seen it is, I am going to go to this and I am gonna, rub my hands together, clasp them in my lap, and then just have a jolly good time. You know what I mean? I'm like, yes. I'm gonna rub my little hands together. I'm gonna sit them down, and then I'm just gonna go throw it at me, James Cameron. Throw it at me, and that's how I go into each one of these. Which is why I was very excited to go at 9:30 in the morning with the 3 other men that were in the screening with me, because I felt we were all very much of a muchness, and we had all decided to come at 9:30 in the morning to watch this film.
One of my favourite experiences is going to see something first thing in the morning, though. Like, I am absolutely with you on that. I went to see, I think it was Avengers Infinity War, on the first day before anyone else had seen it. I think it was opening the day earlier in the UK than it was in America. And I came out and I'm like, I know things that very, very few other people know. And then got excited and then found that there were no podcasts out about it because I'd been too early.
Which is annoying.
Yes.
You want to come out of it, because I had this with Avatar, Fire and Ash, is that I came out of that, had lots of opinions, wanted to listen to everyone else. And because it was the first day, none of the usual podcasts had their episodes up. So I feel your pain on that one. I have a feeling, and we're gonna talk spoiler free to begin with about this film. I have a feeling that you will feel the same way about Fire and Ash as you did do about The Way of the Water. I'm just gonna call it that. In that it is very similar to that film, and if you are not a Avatar fan, if you are not someone who can sort of take it for what it is, you will feel quite negatively, I think, about this film. Am I right?
Oh, I hated this film.
Right. Okay.
Technically, I think there's obviously a lot going on. I have issues with so much of the extravagance of this. I feel 3 hours, 17 minutes is just way too long. The plot goes all over the place, and you could cut something out and maybe make a 2-hour film of this that I would enjoy more. I hate the variable frame rate. It takes me out of the film every time it comes on. They make characters that I disliked from the second film major parts of the plot for really no reason. And thematically, this is I find it a bit of a problematic, but also really, I hate the character in the first place. There were characters from this that we were introduced in the second film where we said, I don't understand why these have been introduced with that voice actress and voice actor. Keep it a mystery. I still have no idea why certain voice actors were cast as because they had nothing to do in this film, or very, very little to do. People are saying that this is great on a technical level, and I understand where they're coming from, but it just doesn't work for me. I feel the graphics on the Na'vi, the graphics that's used to represent the Na'vi, especially the ones that are meant to be avatars, so are more obviously the actor that we have seen outside of it, and I'm talking Sam Worthington, less so because I think we're probably used to him, but
Jake
Sully, yes. But the character,
is it Stephen Lang's character you're thinking of?
Stephen Lang, 100%. The character of he's one of the science guys, and I can't remember what his name is, but he was in the Hottie and the Naughty. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. it just looks, and it looks like, it just takes me out of the film every time I see it. It looks like bad AI, and I think that's probably where I'm coming from. And in the past 3 years, we've had a plethora of AI slop that we get plastered all over social media, and things that look a little bit like someone, but just that step away, and that's what it looks like. The intersection of the human characters with the computer generated characters and the motion cap characters just looks bad, and there's so much of this. And then you get this subplot in the military base, and we revisit that like 6 or 7 times, and every time we are there with Edie Falco and Giovanni Ribisi reprising their roles and all that just looks, it's shot on a digital camera that is so high definition. In my mind, it makes it look cheap. And every single time. But what I cannot get away from is just how one note this plot is. And I don't find it interesting. I found some of the new characters that were introduced somewhat interesting, but they have nothing to do. Like, they are one-note characters. There's one of the big bads is a really interesting, when they're introduced, as a strong, powerful character, female character. But there's no development there, and there's no reason other than the fact that she is just the leader of these people. And I wish that they had more to do. Go on. So it's safe to say I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, I thought that would be the case. And many of the reviews that I've read or have listened to have said the same thing.
I've read nothing on, and I've heard no reviews. I've literally just got out of it. So yeah.
I am going to come at this slightly differently. I disagree with you on the technical level, and I have heard that point from other people as well, that they didn't feel that the technicals were there. Call me, a troglodyte, but I don't have any problem with the technicals. It doesn't impact me the way that it does with other people who probably have a lot more knowledge of these things that I do. As soon as that film started and we were flying into Pandora, like we literally, we are in, you are up a height and you are then immersed in this world from the moment one of this film. I just did like the biggest intake of breath, and yes, for me, it is an experience, an immersive experience of which I find it really hard, which is difficult for a podcast. I find it really hard to explain just how much it makes my brain fizz. I don't know if this has something to do with neurodiversity, but I just love being in that world. And for those 3 hours, 17 minutes, which normally, like in any other circumstance, I would be like twiddling my thumbs and wouldn't check my phone. But, I would metaphorically check my phone, check out, or be thinking, what do I need to do for tea? Or what have we got happening tomorrow? All of those things would be getting into my brain. I don't have that with the Avatar films, and I think it's something that's so unique for me, that sort of anti-anxiety medication style of filmmaking, that I can completely, and I don't understand how, because normally I can rip something apart, I can completely forgive the one-noteness. I can laugh along with the subtitles for the whales. I can go, oh yeah, there's, just to talk about what you've done, oh, there's Giovanni Ribisi and there's Edie Falco, and no, they still don't have anything to do. Oh, remember that scene in Avatar 1 when he's playing golf? Oh yes, I can, Elaine. It's genuinely, that's the conversation I'm having with myself in my head, because I am so enjoying the film. I love being with Jake Sully. I love being with Neytiri. I cannot stand the fact that the kids are going around calling each other bro all the time, but I forgive it. I just totally forgive it, because I'm in my little brain, I'm going, oh James, you're having a lovely laugh with that terrible dialogue.
Jake Sully calling Neytiri baby.
Yeah,
cannot
cannot stand it.
Fingernails down a chalkboard.
Totally cannot stand it. But and like I say, when the subtitles come up for the animal, I'm literally singing "If I Could Talk to the Animals." In my little brain, I'm doing Dr. Dolittle, because I'm having the time of my life. And on on a, purely if we were doing, if we were doing someone said to me, like, you have to review this very seriously. You have to review this, and you have to talk about the problems with it. I could talk about the problems in exactly the same way that you are. And I agree with you in everything that you're going to say, particularly when we get into spoilers. I'm probably going to have a really good laugh with you about, the thing. You're not going to need to try and convince me that there are like rubbish things happening here and that there's critique to be given about this film. But I can push all of that to one side, and I would go and see this film again. I would see it again. I'd see it multiple times, and I'm still thinking about Pandora. I'm still thinking about those worlds. Like, genuinely in the back of my head, the film is playing. Like I say, I don't know whether it's a neurodiversity. I mean, like, it must be. And it would be really, really interesting to hear from other neurodiverse people about how they feel about this film, because it's the way it makes me feel. It's the way it takes away all of my problems.
So we're going into Michael Jackson.
No, genuinely. It's really, really strong for me. It takes away everything, and I can just. It's so unusual for me to have a place of immersion, and this is my place of immersion in these films. And I know that there were points in this film where I was like, I'm sure I've seen this before. I'm sure this might be the plot point to the second film. I'm sure we were on a boat. I'm sure there was a big whale. Like, have they put on the second film instead of the third? Right? I'm sure we've had a big battle between the Na'vi and the humans before, but I forgive it. And for 3 hours, 17 minutes, I did not feel the time. And I wanted it to keep going. I wanted to carry on watching the film. There you go.
I'm absolutely delighted for you. If it clearly works for some people, it clearly doesn't work for me. And if that's what you got out of it, then I think that is brilliant. I still hate it.
Shall we go into spoilers so that we can talk about some of the particular plot points?
Could I just get your star rating on it?
Oh, it's a 4-star from me.
Okay, I'm going 2.
Okay, I think that's not good.
I think that's generous.
No, I don't think it is. Empire gave it 4, just to say.
Yes.
Look, I'm laughing because I can understand. For me, I don't think you can give. I just have, but I don't think star ratings mean nothing for me with this one because I just love it so much. It's not like I'm sitting here going, "Oh my god, like that's terrible," and I don't understand how you.
I'm a little bit disappointed you only went 4 minutes after going into.
Well, there were clear problems. There's clear problems with the plot. It's very derivative of the other films. With all of these films, there are problematic moments, and I do know that. It wasn't an all-out 5-star for me. I think I wish that perhaps that they had not just retreaded, not a word, but they didn't go over the other films. I just felt like I was watching Avatar 1 again. But that for me is brilliant. So I'm not so worried about that. But I could have had something a bit more, just a point of difference. Although I do agree, and we'll go into it in spoilers. One of the new characters, I thought was phenomenal. So yeah, happy to talk about that.
Spoilers from here on.
Can we talk about Una Chaplin as Varang? Let's do that, because I thought she was a brilliant addition to the film and to I'm hoping there's going to be more of them to the films in the future.
Me less so.
I think she's a brilliant addition. I thought the way that she combined with Stephen Lang's character as well and gave him almost like a very twisted Jake and Neytiri design, that this is what it would be if two baddies got together.
Yeah, I mean, and I found her really exciting as a character, and I really wanted her to bring something more than what I got, which was someone who liked guns and then got guns and got a flamethrower and then just blended into the background.
I just thought that she was, like you said, a strong female character and someone who was just, had a backstory of, Awa didn't come and save her. So there's a lot of, obviously, a lot of faith-based religious elements to the films. And this one, I think, was probably the strongest that it went into, which is, almost like, God and a devil sort of, I can't think of the word, but, like that, that Awa is God and Varang's godlessness means that she is, she's taken on the form of, like, as we would in Christianity say, like the devil. You're looking at me like
I didn't get that at all. No,
me.
it absolutely wasn't sledgehammered into my...
over my words because you're looking at me like that, and I'm feeling very inarticulate.
Absolutely wasn't sledgehammered into my brain.
I really like that. You know what I'm like. I do love a bit of like Dances with Wolves and all of that sort of stuff. I love a big epic, and I like those ideas of, yes, they're bashing you over the head with it, but I like those ideas of having faith, not having faith, grief, and what that does to your faith, and whether and who Ewa or God comes to, in inverted commas, save, and who they don't. I really like that. But it gave her something. She was just so anarchic. I really like that. There was no sort of coming back for her. She was just a baddie, and I like that. There was no sort of like, oh well, because I was really worried that she would like get to talk to another woman and then she would soften. And she was like, no, I'm in it. I just do not like any of these things, and I'm full of fire and ash. When they kept saying, oh, it's the ash, I did really want to see Tim Wheeler, Mark Hamilton, and Rick McMurray coming over the hill.
That's going to wash over most of the audience.
Well, I'm quite happy to put an Ash reference in there. Yeah, so I really liked Varang. I thought the people that she, like her people, I think the Magwan, they were very one note, and they almost looked just like quite goblin-y sort of characters, and but whereas with the Na'vi we always had like, oh, this is the chief, this is the and these are the people, we had specific people who had specific roles.
You mean the named ones rather than
yes
the chorus?
That's right. But there were more of them, whereas with her there was just her, and that was it, and then Stephen Lang coming in and being her boyfriend.
Yes,
which was not a thing I saw coming. I thought the little flashes of them like lying in bed together were just a bit weird.
Yeah. He's got a big gun, so that's.
But yeah, I liked the way that he, again, a bit like Jake Sully, he became part of the tribe. So over time he was becoming, and he had at the end he had his face paint on, and and Edie Falco saying, oh, you've become one of them, rather, remember whose side you're on. So I thought that worked as a really nice mirror for him. I still don't understand why he threw himself off one of the floating rocks at the end, and I don't think he's dead.
Oh,
like,
well,
at any point think
that's
he's
been
dead.
quite clear that
we
don't see a body.
Someone's going to find him.
Doesn't matter if he's dead, does it?
No, I think he dies quite a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He seems to die in most films.
Yeah. I did feel. I mean, obviously, I've got criticism of it because it's not a 5-star film; it's a 4-star film. I did feel like there were certain deaths that didn't really pack a punch. I think one of Kate Winslet's kids dies underwater with like one of the spears to his heart, one of the bros, and I didn't feel that was dealt with at all. I thought Kate Winslet dying, everyone seemed to get over that quite quickly after she'd given birth to the baby, and then obviously for obvious reasons with us
Kate
having
Winslet, she's the character name now.
I don't know what she's called in it, but
Ronal.
Oh right, okay. Anyway, she's not in it anymore now.
Nope.
So that's why I can still call her Kate Winslet. I think she had more to do, but also not as much to do as perhaps she could have done. And I did fear when she says to Sigourney Weaver, oh, I don't think we're going to make it through this, and she's pregnant. They keep showing how pregnant she is, and you keep noticing how pregnant she is all the way along. I thought, oh, they're going to do it, and they did. But I didn't find it as triggering as I thought it would be, which was helpful. But I did then feel very sorry for her, because at the end everyone's like gathering around and like introducing this new baby to Ewa, and no one's like going, oh, isn't it a shame that the mother of the child has died? Everyone seems to have got over that very quickly.
Yes, yeah.
I could have done with a bit more mourning from her husband.
Yeah, well,
it was all sort of like, yay, we've defeated the evil, and everyone's great, and
I think
it's
in
a
those
little
big
bit.
Oh, sorry.
So good.
I think in those big battle sequences, a lot of the Na'vi just blend into each other, and I couldn't tell you who died and who didn't, apart from Kate Winslet, who like obviously they made a big. But I thought at one point, the other brother who's dead, the other brother who didn't die
Lower.
in the first one. I
Mhm.
don't know the name.
I know the names.
I thought he had died, but no, apparently
Right.
not.
No, I think they have to keep him alive because the big brother's died, and that's part of his journey, isn't it?
Yeah.
To come out of the shadow of his brother and to get the love and attention of his father.
When this film started, I
Mm.
really thought that they were going to go down a route of like the trauma of losing a child.
Yeah, so did I.
I mean, that was obviously that's something that has would resonate with us. Didn't feel like it was
No,
anything beyond the first reel, really.
no, and I think what they tried to do at the beginning was, people deal with grief differently. The father dealt with it by not talking about it, and the mother dealt with it by being like it greatly in mourning and really connecting with feelings, which is a little bit tropey. I did think, oh yeah, they're sort of going down the route of what does a father do, what does a mother do.
It's all right. After 10 minutes, that is completely
and then
dropped.
it's gone. Yeah, so I did think, oh, okay, yeah.
I
And
need to worry about that.
Neytiri comes out of it very quickly towards the end, doesn't she?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about because I'm thinking about that scene in the forest where Jake Sully's about to kill Spider, and
One
she
time
comes,
I could get behind this film.
Yeah, I know. And she comes in and sort of like changes her mind about and doesn't want him to do it, and I could see that coming a mile off. This Spider character, maybe that's where the 1 star comes off. I just don't understand why we are following him as our now seemingly lead character. And I don't think it's the actor's fault. I think he's just a very annoying character.
No, absolutely not. It's Jack Champion is the is the actor and does not do anything wrong. The fault is not with him.
Yeah.
If I would argue the way he speaks sounds like it's written by an old man, like, which it probably is.
He's always saying shit and going to the toilet.
I need to take a leak. No, I mean, one of the most annoying characters I've seen on screen this year. The fact that he is then made to be this huge, important, I'm going to say white savior is absolutely redoing the Jake Sully being the white savior from the first film. Just found it infuriating. Just so much time on screen
with his little loincloth.
As well, and then and he's. I cannot understand what the logic is in place putting this character so front and center. Like it is genuinely puzzling to me. And
yes, and I think because he arrived in the second film as well, it wasn't like we saw him as a child, or because he's Quaritch's son, and there's a mother that we never see in the first film. And I would have liked to have maybe if we had more connection to him, maybe if he wasn't wandering around in his loincloth, and it was very Tarzan like. And I think we could have maybe got behind him more on an emotional level, but because he just arrives as Spider in the second film and he carries on just being that, he doesn't seem to have any emotional change, and he's just one of the kids.
Yes.
But I did find it quite affecting when he then says, "Oh, I know I need to go to Awa now," and that I thought that was emotionally quite touching. I felt that here is a child begging their dad not to do a terrible thing, and then also then sort of accepting their fate. I thought there was some really good acting going on there. I think it was a strange, I did think it was a strange thing to have right in the middle of the film, and then he was out of that and everyone's kind of forgot about it.
Well, it was massively out of place. It just seemed like an absolute, I thought it was quite out of place, the fact that Zoe Saldana, you're gonna have to tell me what her character name is.
Oh, Neytiri.
Yeah, wanted him dead in the first place.
Yeah,
I mean, I did, but I didn't think someone who'd loved and cared for him for the first 15 years of his life would necessarily want
that would be odd. Yes,
I feel that wrath was misplaced.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but I mean, I just the film just stops for 2 minutes at that point, and part of me was a little bit excited of like, ooh, Jake Sully's taking us, like, is this a heel turn by Jake Sully? Is he now going to be the antagonist of the film? And we're going to be looking at it through a different set of eyes. And I don't quite work out how it would go. But yeah, I thought it was at least something interesting, and then I realised, oh no, when I saw the knife go in and
Yeah.
not go in, then
Yeah.
I suddenly realised,
And it's
yeah,
12A as well. And I think what might have been more interesting, because I think it's tropey as well, is if something like that did happen and then Spider turns on his adopted family and saying, well, actually, they didn't really love me anyway. I'm going to go back to the humans. Because we've seen that before in other films. I don't know
Yes.
whether that would be better or not. I don't know. I think it's all very much of that style of film, that I don't think it would be surprising, but it might have been a different path. I still, obviously, really, really enjoyed all of it. Still really enjoyed it all, but I can pick these problems with it.
Can I ask you a question?
You
Which
can.
I totally missed.
Go on.
It involves whales.
Yeah. Okay.
Why was our friendly whale
Yeah.
banished from the camp?
Because he had been a fighter, and they're a peaceful tribe of whales. They're like pacifists, so they don't believe in fighting. And he, in the second film, had been banished from his people because I think he'd killed someone, if I remember rightly.
Oh,
And they don't agree with that.
if I'm supposed to remember the characterization of a whale from
Yeah.
the second film 3
It's
years
incredibly
later.
touching. I do think that the animal welfare stuff is really, really well. When that whale comes out and he's got all those things in him and he's been blinded by. I like obviously, like, I'm not saying anything like, I really like the conservation elements to it. I really like the themes of, obviously James Cameron's really into his environmentalism, and I like that comes out in the film, even though it is very heavy-handed.
Yeah.
I do find it very touching, and it makes me think about what we're doing to the animals.
And I was glad that Jermaine Clemens had something to do in this
and had
film.
something to do.
I'm sure that I had problems with him last time around.
Yeah.
At least he is,
And so certain people get the comeuppance, which is
Yes.
always nice to see. And,
Yeah.
and there was a lovely Jaws reference in when you're looking at me like, you're like, what? When the big bad with his mechanical arm.
Not the big bad, the medium bad.
Well, okay, but yeah, I know
Yeah, I know
the
you
guy
mean,
who's
yes.
on the boat,
Yes.
and he's the one that's going after them, and he's going to get all of
Did
their.
he lose his arm in the first?
Yeah, I think
in
he
the
must have
second
done.
film?
I
Yeah.
don't remember that, but I'm sure he
Yeah.
must have done. He gets essentially bitten in two by one of the. I know they're not whales, but one of the whale-like creatures, and it's really like Quint in Jaws. I thought, oh, they're doing a Jaws rip-off. Or
Okay,
nod.
yeah, I
yeah, and
get
then they
that,
pull him
yeah.
down into the water, and it's
Yeah.
very Quint in Jaws. I don't necessarily want to spend more time sort of taking this film apart because I love it so. Are you happy to leave it there and agree to disagree that it has many, many problems, and for certain people will be a terrible, terrible film, but for other people, they will be able to accept the problems and have a brilliant time?
Oh no, I am absolutely delighted that you got a lot out of it, and yeah, I mean, clearly go see it, make your own opinion, because it works for so many people on this. Before we go, can we just talk about the box office on this?
Oh right, okay, sorry, you wanted to come
Because
back to that,
the
yeah.
figures have just been released as we were talking, so it's not looking too good for the box office. Now, I went to see it opening weekend on the biggest screen that wasn't IMAX in our theatre. There was maybe 25, 30 people in there in a 200-seat theatre. All the IMAX has been sold out all weekend, as far as I've seen.
Yeah.
You said there were 3 other people on the first, but
Yeah.
Isn't that
It's
dirty enough?
9:30 on the 3D, yeah.
So Avatar, Way of Water took, I think, in America, 132 million on its opening week. This has taken 88 million, which is a significant drop.
Yeah, it's a drop.
And it's the weekend before Christmas.
Yeah.
I think a lot more people will be going to see this over Christmas, but I don't think it's going to make the nearly 2 billion that the.
I will be
one-
sad if they don't do any more, because there are clearly storylines that need wrapping up. If they stopped it here.
Is there?
Yes, there is. Stephen Lang needs to come back to life. Jake Sully and Neytiri need to sort out their family dynamics. We need to know what's going on with Sigourney Weaver's character. and Ewa.
Oh,
And
we've not mentioned that, have we?
no, we haven't.
The big face.
Let's not go. Let's not go into that. And what's the other one? Oh yeah, and they need to know, like, are they going to beat the human? Like, we need a final thing of like the Na'vi beating the humans and Giovanni Ribisi's character like flying away with a sad face because he's not being able to complete his mission. That's what I need. I need a full roundup of that. That's what I need to see.
I think his actual mission was to get an obtainium, which appears to have been dropped probably because it's got the stupidest name of any element.
Yeah, they're after the whale juice now, aren't they? So that's apparently very, very good for people. And lots of money. Is it meant to like reverse aging or something like that? But yeah, I was still thinking about the unobtainium. Don't worry, I was still there.
I was also thinking, when someone says there's 100 billion in that thing,
yeah,
I don't think that's enough money. I think you've probably spent a lot more than that to take the entire fleet of up to Pandora. I think you're chasing your losses there. You spent way more than 100 billion on this.
Well, they're having a lovely time.
We've got companies on Earth now that are worth more than 100 billion.
I don't really understand numbers, Mark, as we've mentioned many times before.
Okay.
It sounds like a big number to me.
Okay.
Hopefully back for another Avatar in 3 years' time, but not maybe if the box office stays the same. I love these films, so I just want another one. And maybe I think he would probably move on to something else. I
would quite like James Cameron to
do something different. Okay.
Well, thanks a lot for joining us.
Thanks very much for listening. Let us know how you feel about Avatar: Fire and Ash. I will listen carefully. I won't be offended.
And we'll see you next time.
See you next time.